PFF is running one of their biggest sales ever. 40% off a PFF Plus subscription right now using the promo code BLACKFRIDAY. That means that you get everything fully unlocked. You get the grades, you get the stats, you get all the fantasy advice, the betting advice, which our new player prop tool is available on web as well to make you a smarter, better. You've got all of the draft analysis, the free agency analysis, all of that great stuff. Subscribe.pff.com to get 40% off a year-long PFF Plus subscription. Get it now. Chiefs at Broncos. Broncos win this one. Defend home turf against Kansas City. Massive game for them when it comes to potentially winning that division there. 22-19, the final score with a Will Lutz field goal winning it as time expired. Top 5 graded players that we had for the Denver Broncos in this one. Cornerback Jaquan McMillan played very well, 74.2 overall grade. Linebacker Justin Chernod with a 74.0. Offensive tackle Mike McGlinchey a 72.1. Offensive guard Quinn Miners a 71.7. And tight end Evan Ingram with a 70.8. Bo Nix in this one, 85.3. Played very well in this game. Kansas City side of things, tight end Travis Kelce was their top graded player at an 80.4. Edge rusher George Karlaftis with a 74.3. Linebacker Nick Bolton a 71.6. Running back Kareem Hunt, 71.4. Linebacker Drew Tranquil, a 70.6. And then Patrick Mahomes in this one, just a 46.9 overall grade. Dalton, your stat that told the story.
Well, Trevor, it sounds weird to say.
Yeah, baby.
It sounds weird to say. But for the first time since Peyton Manning was their quarterback, the Denver Broncos have a more explosive passing game than the Kansas City Chiefs. That's where we're at.
Wow.
Think about that. Peyton Manning has been
in this game, certainly. Nix was ready for it.
He was certainly ready.
Fearless.
And look, both quarterbacks had tough matchups against good defenses, great secondaries, obviously. The Broncos missing Surtain, but they still had guys play well in the back end. But at the end of the day, the Broncos could air it out, and the Chiefs really couldn't. Bo Nix, 10-plus yard throws is where we're going with the split here. Bo Nix, 94.8 passing grade, completing 6 of 10 with 4 big-time throws. Patrick Mahomes, on 10-plus yard throws, 3 of 12, 92 yards, and an interception, 38 passing grade. This Chiefs offense, and there's guys with speed. Yes, there are theoretically guys with speed. Xavier Worthy, Tyquan Thornton, Hollywood Brown. They don't have any way of creating advantages for those guys. They line up in the shotgun every play. They can hardly run the football at all.
Yeah, that's a major issue for them, man.
And you look at, it's been talked about a lot over the last few weeks. Look at the team succeeding on offense right now. They're under center. They're multiple tight ends. They can get in play action. And not only do they have speed to work downfield, but they have the ability to create those opportunities to get defenders to bite. The Chiefs right now, as odd as it is to say, have zero deception in their offense. You can have 4-2-40s all you want, right? With Thornton, and Tyquan Thornton made one play in this game. He made one big play. Cool. You can have 4-2-40s all you want. But if you're just telling those guys, hey, we're just dropping back, go balls, and post. This is not college, okay? The first job of any NFL defense is to keep the cap on it, right? College, yeah, you're playing some inferior team. You got a guy who runs a 4-2. Their safety runs a 4-7. Nah, he's going to run by him. Cool. That's not how the NFL works. The Broncos are more explosive, and it was proven all the way down to the last big play of the game with Troy Franklin that they can find ways to get guys open downfield. Nix can make the downfield throws, and right now, nobody's getting open for the Chiefs downfield. Mahomes, even the shots that he had, Worthy had a big shot early in the game. Mahomes missed him. Thornton had one down the sideline early in the game. Mahomes missed him. This Chiefs offense right now, 10 games into it, we have to say it, especially in losing their biggest game of the year here, I would argue, they're just not the same passing game that we've seen the last 6-7 years.
All right, I got a question for you.
Sure.
How many, don't look anything up, how many non-Kareem Hunt carries do you think we got in this game? So you're talking Patrick Mahomes, we're talking Rashard Smith, you got Rashee Rice, Xavier Worthy. They like to give those guys the football. How many carries for everyone not named Kareem Hunt do you think, design carries, do you think that we got here in this game?
I know there were only 14 total. How many of those did Hunt have? 10 or 11? Okay. I know it was only 14 run calls total in this game for the Chiefs, which is also not good.
Yeah. So you're guessing what?
I'll say 10. 10 out of 14 were Kareem
Was
Hunt.
Kareem Hunt.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. They had 13 designed runs in this game. The fourth one was a Patrick Mahomes scramble, which counted as a run attempt. So it wasn't it. So it was 13 rush attempts. Kareem Hunt had all 13. The answer is 0. They had 0 carries to players that were not named Kareem Hunt in this game.
Not great. In the year 2025.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
How is Brashard Smith not getting the football out of the backfield? I'm not claiming to be smarter than Andy Reid. I really am not. But they're just, like you said, there's no deception. They're not dynamic. When they're handing the ball out of the back, I mean, dude, they were 5 for 13 on third down in this game. That was 38%. That brings their season average just above 41%. 41% of a third down percentage is the lowest third down percentage in the Patrick Mahomes era. They are predictable, and they cannot run the football. And I think most of their issues stem with what is going on in the backfield. I don't know what trades were on the table, but it's really hard to look at this situation and think that it was not worth it to pull the trigger for Breece Hall or Chuba Hubbard or like whatever it was.
There were reports that the Breece Hall trade was on the table, and the Jets wanted a third, and the Chiefs wanted to give him a fourth.
Right.
And neither would budge.
Right. Process.
Yeah.
Process is very important. You don't want to get away fundamentally from how you believe you should build a team. Because when you get away from that, when you allow yourself to really get away from that, that's when you start to get situations that you don't even recognize with your team anymore. You are in a winning window right now. I mean, this offseason, you might lose Travis Kelce. You might lose Steve Spagnuolo. It might look totally different for the Chiefs. Now, are you going to have Patrick Mahomes? Yes. You're still going to have Patrick Mahomes. However, you have, and I know the record isn't great right now, but the Chiefs are still the Chiefs. You sneak into the playoffs, it don't matter. They'll go to Buffalo. They'll go to New England. Who cares? It's the Chiefs. It's Patrick Mahomes. They've been there before. They've done it. I am very shocked, given what I saw in this game specifically, that they didn't budge on a third-round pick for Breece Hall. Because if they weren't going to do that, then I would have said, okay, they're going to give the ball to Brashard Smith a lot more. They're going to get Rashee Rice and Xavier Worthy a lot more involved into the run game. They're going to play a lot more wildcat stuff, especially when it comes to the third and fourth and short situations with Rashee Rice in the backfield. They didn't do any of that. They just handed the ball straight off to Kareem Hunt. Again, like you said, in 2025. That's just not good enough for this Kansas City Chiefs team. So the Broncos played great. Bo Nix was aggressive. He attempted the throws that he needed to attempt in order to beat the Chiefs. And I think that's also what was really important. Bo Nix looked at Patrick Mahomes on the other side of the field and said, I'm going to do what I need to do to win this game. And some quarterbacks have done that, and they haven't completed the football or executed the way they need to win. But there's too many other quarterbacks that know the guy on the other sideline is Patrick Mahomes, and they get, they go into their shell a little bit. They go, okay, I can't turn the ball over, because if I turn the ball over and we give an extra possession to that guy, then we're going to lose. Well, if you're only thinking about that, then you're not going to do what you need to do to go win the football game against the guy. Kudos to Bo Nix, because Sean Payton's attitude, personality, whatever it was, very clearly rubbed off on them, because they were ready to do what they needed to do to win this game. And they executed, and they were able to do it well. And I want to make it clear, this is a close game. They won at the very last second with a field goal, right? Like, this could have potentially gone the other way for the Chiefs, who are now, by the way, 0-5 this year in one-score games, as opposed to 12-0 last season. So we knew that the pendulum would swing the other direction. We just didn't know that it would be this different for them. But ultimately, I think that the Chiefs' struggles are running the football and on third downs. They're major issues for this team right now. And now they can't look outside the league. They have their chance. Now they just got to get more creative with what they do in the backfield.
Well, and the real problem now is with 7 games to go, it feels like an extremely minuscule chance that they can win this division.
Oh, so, I think the division. Division ship has sailed.
Aside from them being the Chiefs,
they are.
Any other team in this spot would basically be shot at this point.
You're basically trying to sneak in with the wild card.
You're looking at right now, they're the 9 seed in the AFC, and they've lost to Denver, They've lost to Buffalo in the 5. They've lost to the Chargers in the 6. They've lost to the Jags in the 7. Don't forget the Jacksonville game, too.
Yeah, they don't have any tiebreakers right now, right?
Houston's back at 5-5. They got to play them head-to-head. And look, they couldn't score on Denver's defense. They're struggling on offense. Houston's defense doesn't make it any easier. Playing the Colts next week. The Ravens are back at 5-5 now. You look at this, it's going to be now with this loss. This was the game that was going to just set off the dominoes for the rest of the Chiefs season. This loss now means they are just in a war for one of these wild card spots. And they're behind the 8 ball right now because they lose tiebreakers to the Bills and Chargers and Jaguars. And don't go losing to Houston in a couple weeks, or you're going to lose just all those tiebreakers.
I think that just because it is the Chiefs, it's hard to not look at their schedule upcoming, which is Colts next week, Cowboys, Texans, Chargers, Titans, Broncos, Raiders. I think they win at least 5 out of their last 7. I think they're winning at least 5. So if you get this team to 10 wins, I think 10 wins get you right there. The issue is all the tiebreakers that you have lost.
I think if you only get to 9, you have a major issue.
Right. And that's the thing is that if they drop one more, or even if you only win 10, there's a chance that you are in a tiebreaker spot with the 6 seed or the 7 seed. And they don't own a lot of tiebreakers right now. So that's, I think, where it could get. You can look at the Chiefs' schedule, and I'm with everybody. They're not going to go away quietly. I think this team wins 10 games. But it now is out of their control almost, because some of the teams that they might be jockeying for position with, they're not going to have a chance to win the tiebreaker over. Unless they go on a crazy run where they're about to win 7 in a row and they end up winning 12 games. In which case, everybody look out.
Which would just be so like them. We'll find out they had the paperwork ready to roll on the Breece Hall trade, and they just had to file it. Then just
Oh, you're saying he's already a member of the Chiefs, or no?
Oh, when they need him,
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That 3rd-round pick sounds pretty good, actually.
Anything else? Because Bo Nix was my most impressive here in this one.
No, he was outstanding. And, of course, the star on defense, Jaquan McMillan, also the interception, 2 sacks in this game. I mean, he was just terrific, 3 stops. You just look at the effort of this Broncos team. And, again, the secondary playing well without Patrick Surtain. In this game, you had Chris Abrams-Drain playing, McMillan playing great. Riley Moss was solid. It just Hufanga flying around at safety. I mean, this Denver defense, there's good defenses, and then there's those defenses. Like there's that category where I go, I think the 5 for me, it's probably Houston, Denver, Cleveland, LA, Seattle. If you give me a 6th one, throw Philly in there the way they're playing now too. There's that group of defenses that's like first class. Denver's proven time and again that they are in that first class. You are going to get an absolute war when you play against this defense, and still leading the league in sacks by a wide margin.
And that's with Hufanga missing that tackle on Travis Kelce, which is like, dude, how often does he do that?
Oh, yeah, no. I mean, look, you're always going to get, especially when you're playing the Chiefs, you're always going to have, they're going to make a handful of plays.
I know,
right?
but like
the Tyquan Thornton deep one and stuff like but overall, they were just outstanding.
There were 2 plays in this game that were like critical plays that Hufanga specifically, and I love Hufanga, the one where he was, I can't remember who the receiver was, it might have still been Travis Kelce, where he was more concerned about making the hit. And if he was looking at the ball, it like bounced off of his arm and he like wasn't ready for it because he was just looking at the defender instead of the ball because the throw was so bad. At least I think, unless Patrick Mahomes was thrown to a spot, I got to go back and watch that one. But there was that play, and then there was a play where he had Travis Kelce on the shoulder. And it's like Travis just like kind of shrugged him off, and it was very strange. And it's like, dude, if Hufanga even makes one of those 2 plays, this game is maybe not as close as it was in the end. But Broncos defense playing incredibly well just because they're one of the best in the NFL.